Hey, it's Jeff from Home Renovision. Today we've got a video to show you how I built this privacy wall behind me. It's a raised planter box that creates a privacy wall between me and my neighbor. It's an awesome project. It only takes one day to take care of, and I've got almost 20 feet of privacy wall. So let's just jump into it, because I used to have this picture, but now I've got separation, not just from the neighbors, but it really frames the space, right? Having a great outdoor space is all about the definition of the space and how it's used, and now we've got a really cool looking spot. Join us on this episode. We'll show you how to build it. So what we're going to show you today is carpentry made easy, all right? The reason for this is I'm of the opinion that just about anybody can be a decent carpenter, especially when you're working outdoors. One of the secrets to doing this is to work with your materials and design your project around how the materials are delivered. I'm working with Tongue and Groove Cedar today. It's 10-foot long boards. So for me, the easiest design option is to just cut the board at 2 feet, and then I've got an 8-foot face and a 2-foot side. I'm going to show you how to trim it all later, so you don't have to worry about if all the ends are cut perfectly. There's no miter joints today. This is really simple. Anybody can put this together. And you can even do this with just a skill saw. You don't need a big chop saw like I have, but for time's sake today, because we're going to get rain in a few hours, I'm trying to knock this off for you. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab the cedar, we're going to take it over to the saw in the bundle, chop it all down, and set it all up so then I can stack my cedar boards together to get my actual height, okay? And then I can cut my posts for the corners as well. And then it's just about assembly. We'll be right there. So make sure all the wood's tight against the fence. Got my measurement. Now I'm just going to use my pencil here to square them all off. So in order to avoid a lot of the ripping and cutting, we're just going to use 5 boards. That'll be our finished height across the front. We're going to build the entire box level based on that, and then afterwards, because I'm on a slope, we'll fill in from underneath. Make sure when you're cutting your wood, you take a second and you get rid of all the split ends here, okay? We'll sand this later, but it'd be nice to have it cleaned up while you're working so you don't get splinters. So that becomes about the size of my planter. I'm also gonna put another 2x4 right in the middle, just a little extra support to give the wood something to attach to in the middle. It might be overkill, but it'll help keep it together in the wintertime. All we gotta do now is pick the prettiest side of each piece of wood and put it on the outward face. Okay, so I'm using 5/8 material, so I'm gonna just use 1.5 inch screws here to attach it to the post, and we'll make the front of the planter. My goal here is to try to install this as square to the post as possible. Now at this point you might be wondering, why is he going backwards first and then forward? Simple. Softwood lumber likes to split when you're cutting near the end. So if you drill in reverse while you're pushing, you actually what I call cauterize the wound, and you create yourself a pilot hole that won't split. Perfect every time. So that's not level. So the easiest way for us to fix that is actually just to move some stone. That's a hell of a lot better. Now when we're all done, we're gonna frame it level and plumb, okay? And then when we're all finished, we're gonna backfill around the outside with pea gravel. That'll give it some stability and it'll keep it from moving around, clean up the look, cover all the exposed cuts. It gives us a lot of flexibility when we're building to just raise a post and put some stone under it, right? This is gonna be quick and easy. So in order to get my height for the back post, I'm going to attach this top piece, plumb this off, and then measure to the ground. 27. Now remember, you don't have to worry about making it perfect now. Once we've got the entire box built, just the 4 sides, then we'll fuss around with the level one more time and putting rock underneath to shim it all off. You just set the location using the thickness of a piece of cut wood. We want to make sure we don't start creating an environment where I need longer wood to close the back. Let's check the plumb. Like that. Check the thickness. Nice. Now that I've got it plumb and square, I'm going to throw a screw in it. Now a lot of this is just assembly, because once I've got it squared off here, I'm good to go. So I'm just gonna stack and screw, make sure that the front is always the nicest piece of wood. And then we are good to go, and then we'll get on the other side. You notice that I am using one of the pieces of wood as a knee pad, right? And I just picked the side of the wood I didn't like to put on the gravel. You can do that too. Softwood lumber is incredibly nice to kneel against. Once I'm finished here, I'll do the other end, and then we'll get on to the next step. So one of the things we're gonna do, I'll just take this piece here and show you, because this becomes the same size as the front, sorry, okay? We'll go interior, that's why we set it back. Now, because of this profile, right? We're gonna be able to see this angle right here, and this here. But in the sun, on a sunny day, lined up against the other piece, it is really hard to get your line right. So what I'm gonna suggest is if you just rub the edge with your pencil, okay? And then rub this edge with your pencil. Now you can see that corner a lot easier. Just put a line on it. And there's my corner here. And so when I'm lining this up, I can go point to point right here. And I don't have to worry about, because of this, the tongue and groove, making sure that it lines up perfect. I know it's perfect. Okay, there we go. That's the whole idea here. It's gonna make my job a lot simpler. All right, I'll do the same with the other end. And then I'm just gonna go throw some screws in. I'll put in one screw to start, and then I'll make sure I got a level on it and everything is hunky-dory. So last chance to make sure you're level, so take the time to make sure that this first board goes on perfect, and then everything else just assembly. Whenever you're working outdoors freehand like this and you have no consistency, anytime that bubble's in between the two lines, even if it's not perfect, it's perfect enough. Remember, over time, because it's outside and we get 4-season climate, everything's gonna shift around a little bit here and there. So to start off perfect, you're not gonna end up there anyway. So don't be afraid to go, wow, that is so close. I'm just happy with that. So now I've got to trim it. I've got to put on my corner benches because I got to cover the tops of these posts. So I'm going to make some triangles here on the corner, and I've got to line the inside of this box with something to keep the water and the dirt from working its way out through the front of the box, right? I want to try to keep all this nice and clean. So I'll show you that procedure, and then I'm going to backfill with some stone. Wow, we're almost done. We just started. Yeah, so I'm on a hill here, just a slow grade. I'm just reclaiming some of the stone from the grade. When we're all done, I'm gonna be covering all this in pea gravel. So I'm turning this into my solution for the gap at the bottom. Why in the world we want to spend all day trying to cut the perfect piece of wood and put it in backwards? Landscaping 101. All right, guys, all we're gonna do now is just take our interior measurement. We're gonna measure post to post. That means my center mark. And a lot of installation with carpentry is know your center mark, okay? And that's it. And then, of course, we're gonna put that right here. Now, the way I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna use construction adhesive. And this is a 2-inch screw. So that's a 1.5-inch material. This will go a 1/2 inch into that. It's not there to be structural, it's just there to hold it in place till the glue does its job of bonding. And so because it's a PL, we have to cut the tip off, and we have to break the seal inside the tube. Okay, nice little S bead right here on the 2x4. Don't go too close to the edges, it'll just squeeze out everywhere. And I'm gonna leave it in the bottom because you don't want it on your shoes, okay? That stuff will track in the house. Whatever it touches, it'll be just garbage. Now, there we are. Good. Okay, here goes everything. The idea here is to get the head flush with the wood, because the wood, the cedar boards here, are thicker than the remainder of the screw that's left, and it won't stick out. Perfect. I'll do one on every board. So what that does is it gives the middle of this a little extra strength, okay? But it also tightens all the boards together so they have a nice clean appearance on the face. Do the same to the other side, and then it's time to wrap this thing up before we put the dirt in. All right, so I'm gonna use Typar as my interior wrap. You can use Tyvek, geotextile, landscape fabric, but understand that all of these products have one thing in common. They all allow a little bit of vapor to pass through, but they divert water, okay? So the water will run down the side inside this thing. Because I'm on gravel here, I have a great place for it to drain. So I don't want to have the risk of water working its way up and out through the tongue and groove. So I'm just gonna trim it down into pieces of the same height as the box. Then I'm gonna install it just above this first joint, okay? So that I still have a little bit of cedar showing inside the box when it's full of dirt. And the rest of it can hang on the ground and just be stuffed in place. It's not gonna be an issue. Now these machines use a really standard staple, T50. They come in different thicknesses. So consider the thickness of the wood you're gonna be working with. I got 1/2-inch staples because even if I end up stapling against this material, I'm not gonna be going through the other side. Because it's going to be full of dirt, there's gonna be a lot of weight. So we're gonna follow the contour and make sure that our cloth isn't too high up, okay? So when we go to finish this off, first thing you wanna realize is most of us are not woodworkers. We don't have a shop in our house, okay? We're gonna have portable tools like this. That's my table saw. Not too darn sexy. In most situations, it's exactly the right tool for the job for me because I'm moving and I'm portable, I'm always in a different location, and I can't afford to renovate my house always working up and down the stairs and running to my shop to turn on my sexy tools. I need the stuff right next to where I'm working. So what I'm gonna use here is I've got some 1x6 cedar, and I'm gonna use that on my ends, and that's going to cap all of my 4x4 posts. And then I'm going to just customize some trim with the same tongue and groove boards by ripping the tongue and the groove off on the table saw. I'm going to trim out the rest of this. So in order to get your outside measurements, the first thing you want to do is you want to work from the ground up in this scenario, okay? So we're going to do our outside caps, all right? And then we're going to attach our end pieces, and then we're going to do our 2 thick rails here, okay, to create some meat that we can cap it with. It's a little extra work, but it's going to look really good. Okay, so now it's time for the corners, right? Just move the dirt out of the way down here so you can get a nice full measurement. All right, because what we want to do is make sure that it's nice and flush up at the top. And I've got 2 sides of wood here. I've got a thin side and a short side. When I make the corner like this, it's the same size wood on either end, okay? So you just got to do your math a little bit. Try to get close. As long as it's not too obnoxious. No one cares if your math is perfect, but you, a little bit of wiggle room back and forth. We're going to be okay here. I'll just take that over to the saw. I'll cut 25 of each. So I'm running into a bit of an issue on the job. Because I'm using the leftover wood to trim this out, it's not quite wide enough to create the width to cover both of these screw holes, okay? Like I'm looking pretty good. In a perfect world, if the stores are open and I could go shopping for lumber and it didn't cost an arm and a leg, I'd go buy actual 1x3s and 1x4s and trim the corners. Again, you can only get so close to the outside of the board because you're screwing into this surface. So the first 3/4 here, there's nothing to screw to. And I don't like it splitting, and it's really bad for splitting. So in this situation, I'll let you decide what you would rather do. For me, a cedar colored screw, once it's oiled up, give it a year, the wood will have swollen over the screw heads, you won't see them anymore. It's not a bad option. Just got to sink the screw head just a little bit below the surface so that the wood can swell around it, okay? And you'll be fine. That's what I'm going with because I don't have all day on the sun to get this done. All right, there's options. If you're an advanced DIYer and you have lots of woodworking tools and large clamps, you can use adhesive and stick all this stuff on. You can glue them and make the corners and let them set overnight. But for the rest of us in the real world, we need to get stuff done, right? When I start a project on Saturday, I want it done on Saturday. Worst case scenario, I want it done on Sunday. If I'm renovating a building, I understand it takes time, but if I'm doing a project, projects should be designed to be finished. End of discussion. There we go. So that's my location for that screw. Now, I'm trying to get the screw into this wood, so I'm going to start here. I'm going to go on a bit of an angle. Do the same thing down here. Again, use this piece to set the depth. I'll get all 4 corners done, and then we'll show you the top. So here's what a 1x6 looks like, flush corner to corner, okay? What you don't want is that. You want to go about 1/4 inch or more on each side, plus 1/4 inch or more on this way. Visually, that is a lot more stunning. And so I'm just gonna put a mark, go cut my board. I'll do the same with the other side, and then we'll show you how to fill in the top. Here's the madness, somewhere to sit. garden party, having a drink, taking a break. I just created extra seats in my garden party area. I love it. All right, and if you like learning about projects that any DIY homeowner can do because they're doing them with basic tools, then give this video a thumbs up, all right? And then consider joining our membership program if you're a homeowner and you're looking for help with your DIY projects. We've got the great little tool called our Members Forum where you can post pictures and ask me questions, and I communicate with our members every day. All right, now let's get this all done. We'll get this fixed down in place. Life was only that easy all the time. So there's two pieces of wood that I cut. One's a little bit thicker than the other. I'm gonna use the thicker one across the top here, all right? So my original plan was to take some of this cut down wood and put it on both sides of the face, screw it through the front, and then put a cap on top. My problem is I still have this exposed, and I'm kind of not digging the look. I love systems like this because whenever you're trimming out something that's already got a frame, it's just stick it in, mark, and there you are. No measuring tape needed. So I'll just walk you through this process real quick. I'm using 1 5/8 screws, or 1 1/2, sorry. They're a little long, so I'm going on an angle just to support the board. This is designed to hold it in place like a lever, so I can get the perfect spot on the end here. You can't have it sitting on the ground on one side and screw the other side. That just never works. I'm gonna go for 2" here and I'll go all the way into that 4x4 post there. And drive. This one's still flexible, of course, until we're done. Nice. Now I'm gonna take this board, interior, I'm gonna line it up at this end to create that nice joint. And then from the back side, I'm gonna put them in an angle into position. Everything has positive contact. Okay, so this is flexible, that's fixed. I'm gonna line up that corner. I got my overhang, and everywhere I'm looking, everything's looking pretty. Okay, I'm gonna match up these corners, throw a couple of 2" through the surface here. Now the last step is take a piece of 1x3. You can rip some down if you have to, but this you can buy in the store in a couple foot length. Measure the inside, or the outside of the box here. I'm 25 3/4. 25 3/4, 25 3/4. I'm gonna guarantee you, if you don't put this brace in right now and you fill it with dirt, the middle is gonna look like after Thanksgiving dinner, right? Not a good look. So let's get the brace in there now before we go ahead and start filling it up. So now the steps that are left are basic, right? We need to use a sanding block or a palm sander and smooth out all our edges. We've got to get our clear oil on. We've got to fill this up with dirt, and we've got to get our decorative pea gravel laid out. And then we actually got to put some plants in this planter box. Here we go, guys. Not only do we have a little bonus outdoor seating if you're having a large party, but we got a great privacy wall here. Now you've seen the before and after pictures of this 1880 farmhouse and the change in the condition. I did all this work really, just my son and I, with a little help from my wife. We did it in one summer, and you can create the outdoor oasis of your dreams. We made a horizontal privacy fence, a fire table, we installed a hot tub, we did all the patio work, we did all the deck. We rebuilt the lawn, we did a retaining wall. All of this information is in our outdoor playlist right here. You can check it all out because you can do this kind of stuff yourself too and have the outdoor oasis of your dreams. Cheers.